All right, so hey, here we are again at the Ben and Gary Show. We know dentistry, and today we're not going to really be answering so many questions from the public here. We actually have a special guest today that we want you to get a chance to know a little bit better. And this is our new associate, Dr. Dan Pinto, and he'll be joining us here in the next few days, but he decided to come down at the end of his residency from the University of Buffalo to join us here today just to kind of spend a little time and get a chance to meet you. So we're glad to be able to introduce him to you, and here we are. We have the Ben and Gary Show with Dr. Dan Pinto, and maybe you can get a little introduction here, Dan, in terms of like where you are from and you know, where you were born, and tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Dr. Dan Pinto. I'm originally from the Fingerlakes in New York State, so it's the western part of New York. And I ended up doing basically all my schooling in Buffalo, New York. So it's a couple hours west of there, like right next to Canada, right in between Lake Erie and Ontario there. And yeah, so I was in school up there, and I decided to come down here because I came down here with my family a lot when I was growing up. And
just on vacations?
Yeah, spring breaks.
Okay.
Yeah.
See the monuments?
What's that?
Did you guys see the monuments and all that?
Oh yeah. I always loved the Air and Space Museum.
Okay.
And yeah, so we had family friends. We visited, and I just kind of fell in love with the place, and it was always in the back of my mind. And I finally getting to move down here.
Yeah.
So
good.
Yeah.
A little warmer during the winter.
Yeah. I'm tired of the Buffalo winter.
Yeah, that's got to be a harsh winter there. I mean, the idea of snow for us is measured in inches, so you guys kind of measure them in feet, I would imagine.
Feet, for sure, yeah. And driving rear-wheel drive cars with studded tires.
There you go, yeah.
Sliding around.
That sounds like actually a lot of fun to me, by the way.
Yeah, well, in a parking lot or something.
In a parking lot without those little bumper things there. I think that would be a wise, not a wise thing to do that, if you have those in that parking lot, but... Well, that's awesome, and we are so glad to have you as part of our team.
I'm
really
excited to join you guys. Yeah,
and the more and more we get a chance to know you and reveal, it's become even more and more interesting to us here. And I know you have a lot of hobbies, and things that I think that at least Gary and I don't have a whole lot of experience in here. You want to share a little bit about what your favorite pastimes are in sports?
Yeah, well, to give a little background, my father's from South America, from Bolivia, so I grew up loving soccer, so that's kind of been my thing, the go-to sport, so I played, since I was 4 up until, now, but now it's obviously a little more on and off, but I definitely follow sports, and looking forward to watching some DC United,
right.
So
Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, exactly, so I've always had a passion for soccer, either watching or playing.
Awesome.
And then I guess also I do some Tae Kwon Do. I've been doing that since high school, and I did a lot in college, teaching and helping other people. And it's that kind of is also explaining things to people like that helps, to even explain things to patients.
Sure.
So and it helps boost confidence, public speaking, that kind of thing.
Sure.
And also the fact of just physical fitness and self growth. So I really enjoyed doing that, and kind of as a hobby in the background.
Yeah, people don't really know, dentistry is like probably a lot of other medical fields. It's actually kind of a physical, sort of profession. So keeping up your fitness sounds like awesome ways to be able to do it, and get your mind, out of the dental world for a little bit, and I think it's really important to be able to have some other way to be able to sort of take your mind off of work, even if you are as passionate as you are about dentistry.
Right. Yeah. Staying fit and making sure you're not.
Strong. The posture eventually will catch up to you, or bad posture will eventually catch up to you, and it's not easy to continue on once that starts kicking in the dental field.
Yeah.
But that's a great outlet.
Yeah, no, it's really enjoyable. Yeah. I don't have to use my hands as much.
This is true.
Take care of them.
Gotta take care of my hands. Yeah.
Particularly, I guess soccer. It's definitely a good one here. No hands in soccer,
hands,
unless you're a goalie. Were you on the teams? Were you a midfielder?
I started out offense when it was like little kids, and then as I got older, it was more offense, midfield, kind of feeding the ball to other people.
Sure.
And kind of passing around.
So you're a Messi fan, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Even the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of the world, I think, is a Messi fan.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You're either a Messi fan or you're not.
Or you're not. So I'm gonna venture out there. I think you pretty much have like Barcelona shirts, not other ones.
I've had multiple.
Multiple.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Well, Liverpool's coming up right now here, I think.
Yeah.
So. And unusual, I think, for them to be have as much success as I think they're having this year.
It's high on the leaderboards. Yeah.
Exactly. Sure. Well, dentistry. What in the world got you into dentistry? I think we all have our way of being able to tell us how we got in there, what really caught our attention. What was it for you?
Well, my family, especially my dad and my grandfather, they were professors, teachers. My grandfather's a principal, so it was always the influence of academics was always really important. So they wanted me to get as high as I could.
Sure.
And so I knew I wanted to be some sort of doctor. And the fact that dentistry combines, the science of medicine and the hand skills and artistry that dentistry carries, really allowed me to kind of combine the two things that I really enjoy doing. And I always liked to draw, paint, and that kind of stuff, and that kind of carried over as I went into dental school. And
sure.
And the fact that being a prosthodontist as you are, like it kind of is. I just wanted to know more,
right.
And that kind of allowed me to fully realize like what I wanted to learn about the artistry of dentistry.
Yeah, so. It does take a passion, to be able to kind of continue to go through. I don't know if anybody knows that, outside of becoming a dentist, which is a 4-year degree, that becoming a prosthodontist is additional 3 years of intense training, actually in the dental school. It's not a series of courses that you would take after you're already in private practice. This is something where you give up a lot of time and commitment and focus strictly on the part of the profession of becoming that in that specialty. And 3 years actually under the tutelage of other prosthodontists, where an intense training for 3 years is pretty impressive. I think it does take a certain kind of will to get through that, because nothing is it's certainly not a cakewalk to get through there. That's for sure. And it does take a lot of passion to go forward. But at the end, I think everybody understands or realizes like why they did it here, and as opposed to I know essentially for me it was like I'd love to be able to see the actual change that an individual can actually see, and that goes forward and to further explain that I want to be able to have a patient that can really change their life. And I think there's only a few areas I think in the dental world where patients have an opportunity to really see an actual change, and restorative dentistry is where I'd say that happens best. And then there's a lot of restorative dentists out there, but not a lot of prosthodontists. Prosthodontists are at the top of the heap in terms of understanding what that's all about, and learning for 3 years is a terrific foundation, because that's just the beginning of the learning.
Right. Yeah. Well, and it's funny because I could bring it back to Tae Kwon Do, because everybody thinks a black belt in Tae Kwon Do is like the greatest thing, but really, or any martial art, but it's really when you're black belt, you've really only mastered the basics. And kind of like with dental school or pros residency, like when you finish the schooling, that's getting your black belt. You've mastered the basics, but there's still years of practice and building on that gets you to.
I love that.
To really like kind of grow,
Gotcha.
Beyond that. There's different degrees and things like that.
Now, have you pursued
just a second degree? Just a second.
Black belt? Okay.
Yeah. I haven't really taken the time beyond that.
Yeah, well,
things get busy.
I'm sure it's very time intensive. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, no, you got to keep learning even after residency.
Absolutely. We're going to learn a lot more about you. We're going to have you on the show, more frequently and regularly here. But we are just again so glad to be able to have you here. And welcome to the practice. And there'll be another opportunity for us to be able to introduce you to more of Dr. Pinto. And we're going to have more questions here. So this is going to be one of your opportunities to be able to send us what you want to know about. This is the Ben and Gary Show, and we're now with Dr. Dan Pinto. We know dentistry. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.